Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir SilentGods video. In today's video, we're going to talk about artifacts, and we're going to talk specifically about the mythic ones, right? The ones that used to be legendaries, but we're going to go at mythic ones, and I'm going to tell you from my point of view, again, this is not 100% one-all be-all. At least maybe the top 5 is going to be 100% for everybody, but this is, from my opinion, going to be a video on what are the top 10 best mythic artifacts that you can have in the game. This is based off of like season 4, like all the artifacts that have been released so far, and I'm just gonna mention from now, I'm not including the exclusive ones, okay? I'm not talking about the exclusive ones, also I'm not talking about these element specific ones, okay? So I'm just gonna talk about the ones that you can buy from the shop, the ones that you can get from Meander, from Pillar of Trials, and so on. So I guess it kind of comes into the right time, as I had somebody that said yesterday on my video of like, oh yeah, do you have a video on what are the best mythic artifacts to buy or to focus on? Well, you know what, I don't think I had, like, the last one that I did was maybe in season 3 or season 2, so I decided to make an update one. But I guess without further ado, let's jump in. So from my point of view, up until today, still the #1 artifact that everybody should get when they get a dupe legendary, or like the #1 priority that everybody should build, it's still going to be the Witch's Remains, right? The reason why I'm saying that is because Witch's Remains plus 2 only other artifacts are the only ways in the game that you can get defense penalty, right? So the reason why I prefer the Witch's Remains over, there's another one that was introduced in season 4 that, you know, is another similar one that has a high chance, 100% chance to land defense penalty. I prefer Witch's Remains because it's more versatile, more variable. So the ones that I'm going to talk about, all these 10 are going to be what are the best for overall usage, right? What are the best for overall utility? I'm not talking about, like, for example, I could have said maybe one of the specific ones of, I don't know, go with the exclusive, say, yeah, Ozul's artifact is insane because he makes him do a ton of damage. Or Flora's one, she becomes, like, you know, if you get her amulet, she becomes amazing as a damage dealer for Vortex, okay? So, or there's like some other ones over here that you could be like, okay, this one's perfect for arena. No, I'm gonna choose ones that are gonna be perfect for overall utility. Maybe dungeons, Vortex, arena, you name it, they're still the best ones. And that's why I want to start with Witch's Remains, because pretty much it gives you defense penalty, they can land AoE, it's the defense penalty too, and also gives you the accuracy. So, you know, it makes it easier for you to land your debuffs. If you have debuffs on the ultimate, if not, it gives you the accuracy as well to land the defense penalty. So obviously having defense penalty out there means it can give, you know, you're gonna do a ton more damage. So that's why Witch's Remains is still #1 up until today. Now, #2, the one that I believe, again, to be the second best one, is going to be the Rift Hourglass. The reason I'm saying this is because the Hourglass is perfect from the beginning till the end in the arena, everywhere, because it gives you HP, it gives you accuracy, but it also gives you a ton of extra skill haste, right? Skill haste is the best or the most important skill in this game, right? Because it makes you do your battle skill and your ultimate more often. So the fact that this one can give you 100 once you get to the max level, that is a ton. If you think about it, there's if you combine 2 sets, for example, like this one, it only gives you 20 skill haste, right? So if you have 2 pieces, that's 20. If you have 4, that's 40. So it's so hard to get a lot of skill haste that having an artifact that straight up gives you a ton of skill haste, it's just perfect. It makes it easier for you, for example, if you're trying to build in dungeon teams where the rotation is 18 seconds of the boss, but your skills are only 20-second rotation. Well, putting this Rift Hourglass on your champions is gonna lower their, you know, it's gonna lower their timings of their ultimates so you can get in that 18 rotation. So that's why the Rift Hourglass is the second best in my opinion. Now, if we talk about the third one, and this one was not the same, Gatekeeper staff is going to be the third one. This was maybe not as high on my ranking if we're talking maybe only season 2, because we didn't have as many good healers that do massive bursts of heal, right? It used to be just Garius and that's about it. People used to call this Garius' staff, right? Well, now we have people like Finja, we have Cinarel, so there's other ones that do massive bursts of heal that basically made the Gatekeeper staff insane, because not only does it bring a skill haste, but the reason why this one's so good, and again, it's good in any area of the game, is because once it's maxed, 100% of the overheal from the wearer is equally converted into a shield. So pretty much more survivability. And that's why it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and it's the perfect artifact to invest in because you're not going to regret it, trust me. Now, if we're talking about number 4, this one's a little bit more, you know, it's a little bit of a different one. People might not agree, but I still believe to be one of the best ones. It's going to be the Solar King's Horn, okay? It gives you HP defense, but the reason why this one's so good is basically when the wearer heals an ally, increases the damage dealt by 5%, and you can for 10 seconds, and you can stack up to 3 times. So pretty much if you have somebody like a Astyon, right, that does healing, let me just go over to Astyon. If you have someone like Astyon that does healing over time like this over 10 seconds, basically in 3 seconds, just 15% max HP. Or if you have somebody like Finja that does 2 heals, that's 10%. Or if you have, let me see, even a rare like a Megan, anybody that does, for example, recovery over time, right? This healing over here, this basically counts as healing every time it takes, so it can be used even on somebody like a Megan, and that's why it's a really powerful one as well from my point of view. So that's number 3. Okay, come on, go at the top, come on. Oh my god, so many heroes. So yeah, number, actually, what was that? Yeah, number 4. Solar King's Horn is number 4 because, again, you can use it everywhere. Now, number 5 is going to be one that's specifically was released in Season 4, and I believe to be this one, apart from maybe their exclusive, and I think they're just about the exclusive, but this one has to be the strongest artifact for damage dealers, honestly. It's so good, but it is a little bit quirky to set it up, but there's so many options of how you can set it up that is just perfect. So it's Poison of Swamp. It gives you attack, gives you crit damage, and also the effect is just insane. When the wearer receives healing, additionally gains 10% crit rate and 15% crit damage for 15 seconds, up to 3 stacks. So pretty much if you have somebody, again, like the people that do heal over time, or several heals, you know, or a lot more heals, then this one's gonna pretty much give you 30% more crit rate and 45% more crit damage as the effect, plus the extra 80 crit damage that you're gonna get here once you get to the max level, and lots of attack. So this is arguably, again, from my point of view, this is arguably the best artifact apart from the exclusives in the game for damage dealers. Doesn't matter what type of damage dealer, you know, apart from the ones that do damage based off of enlightenment, but people that do raw damage with crit and crit damage, Poison Swamp is just straight up the best from my point of view. Now, if you move over to number 6, this one's gonna be one that is Season 4 exclusive. You can only get it at least in Season 4 and then further, but it's the one that you get from the Pillar of Trials, and that's the Chest of Radiance, okay? It gives you HP, gives you attack bonus, but it also gives you this powerful effect, kind of like the Ravatrix's Roots, which we're gonna talk about later. When the team activates 3 elemental affinity, all allies gain 5% attack and defense. When 5 elemental affinity is activated, this bonus becomes 2 times. So basically, when you have a 5 elemental synergy, you get 10% attack and 10% defense for all of your team. You might be like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a lot. Well, if I'm not mistaken, and if this works the same way the Ravatrix's Roots works, and the same way that passives work in general, this 10% stacks is counted after all of the other stats, right? So it's not 10% of your base attack and base defense, it's 10% of the total stats that you have. So as an example, if I go into the fight for somebody like a Ozul, okay, I don't have fully built, which is level 90, still progressing, but it's not going to be 10% out of his 1100, which is going to be 110 attack. It's going to be 10% of the total attack, which is close to 3000, so that would be 300 more attack and then 100 something more defense. So that's why I believe Chest of Radiance is really powerful, and you should have in most of your teams if you can, right? It's so good, and also gives you like lots of attack. I feel like somebody like a Cinorel, if you have somebody else that brings the shields, is the perfect one to be using that. Now, if we move over to the next one, these are going to be actually ones that I do not own, apart from the last one, but these are going to be some artifacts that I believe are real powerful, because there's more and more, there's more and more heroes that can use them, and they have insane utility overall. So the next one I'm going to talk about is going to be the Aurelium Vest. So this one gives you HP and defense %, but it's really powerful for shield heroes, because shield granted by the wearer to an ally also reduces the damage done to that ally by 17.5%. That's a lot of damage reduction. That's a lot. And there's so many shielders in the game that this one becomes extremely powerful for damage mitigation. Again, can be really good in Grave of Venom, can be really good in Vortex, any areas where you want those shields. So as an example, you could try and use this on somebody like Aladia if you don't want to use the artifact that, what's his name? The artifact that we got from the Dungeons and Dragons collaboration, that was Elminster's one, right? So the Elminster, the Aurelium Vest is just insane, 100% worth investing in. Then the next one is going to be a little bit more quirky one again. Another one that I don't have, but just, you know, from what I've seen other people talk about and what I'm reading, the Parasol of Paradise is just insane for healing, okay? Gives you defense, HP %, and when the wearer takes damage, healing equal to 50% of the damage taken is triggered and distributed evenly to allies around the hero. So yeah, it's a little bit more quirky because you have to have them like placed around the hero, but still, the healing that this one can do is just insane. I guess the Parasol of Paradise is kind of like on par, maybe a little bit better or a little bit worse than the Holy Acorn. The reason why I didn't choose the Holy Acorn is because it gives enlightenment, and honestly, not too many. They did add more, but most of the healers don't have healing the scale off of enlightenment. They just have off of their base stats, right? So Holy Acorn is just another powerful one. This could be like another replacement, depending on what you choose, but I guess I chose to put in my top 10 the Parasol of Paradise. Now, another one that's really, really good and especially useful on your tanks, usually, especially the ones that don't need accuracy, is Drugo's Blast Jar. Gives you HP, gives you defense %, and the wearer the effect is when the wearer takes damage, it has a 30% chance of creating an energy blast, dealing 200% defense fire damage to surrounding enemies and reducing their damage dealt by 15% for 5 seconds. Reducing the damage by 15% is huge, again, especially in areas like Vortex, like Venom, like Grave of Curse, anywhere where the boss hits really hard. Having this that can trigger every 2 seconds is just so powerful that it's definitely worth it, especially because it brings you the good stats. And now the last one that I'm going to talk about, with this one's a little bit more quirky, but again, it's extremely powerful, is going to be the Ravatrix's Roots, right? This is another one that we can get in the previous seasons. I think this was the one we can get in season 2. This is the one that you can get from Fae Meander, right? From Ravatrix. And the reason why this one's so powerful again is because, okay, it gives you HP and attack bonus. When it's max, it gives you a total of 60% attack bonus. But the effect of it is the one that's really powerful, okay? Kind of like the Chase of Radiance. This one, the wearer receives an additional 15% HP and 15% attack. So just straight up, it's just the wearer gets 15, 15. It's, you know, it's really good because again, it counts on your total stats, not just your base stats. But this is where it becomes more interesting, and this is why this one can be extremely powerful. For non-legendary heroes, this effect is doubled, okay? Doubled. That's 30% more HP and 30% more attack. That can be massive. If you think about somebody has like 5,000 attack, right? 30% of that 5,000 attack, let me see, can I math here? It's gonna be another 1,500 attack. That's just huge, right? A third extra attack, it just makes your damage skyrocket. So that's why I chose to put Ravatrix's Roots as the number 10 on my list. But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree with this one? But if you disagree with something that's on the list, let me know what would you put in the top 10 to replace it, right? Again, I didn't choose the element-specific ones or the exclusive ones on this list, just the ones that you can get from Fae, Pillar of Trials, or the ones that you can buy with any random soul imprint. But anyway, I guess we're gonna leave it at this for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.